everybody, welcome to a bonus episode of Horror Movie Night. It's part of our In Theaters Now series, and you know what that means. It's your favorite co-host and the world's favorite curmudgeon, Katie. Katie, welcome back to the show.
That was so nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'm excited because I really enjoyed this movie, but more importantly, B, about a month from now, I'll be hanging out with Katie. I'm going down to Fantastic Fest. If you're living in Austin, come and hang out with us and get some dinner or something, or just watch movies, whatever. That's kind of what you're at Fantastic Fest for. Anyway, all right. So as per usual, we will do a quick good, bad, and here's a non-spoiler reason why, and then we'll dive hardcore into the spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you've got about 3 minutes to enjoy, and then you should probably wait until you see the movie. But I will start off by saying that you should see the movie. I thought it was a very good time. It was a lot of fun. It had a lot of fan service. I enjoyed it.
Cool. I am inclined to agree with you. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think that it's getting a lot of heat for no reason. I think people need to understand what they're going to see. And it was it was a family horror. It was a good introduction to horror for a younger kid, you know?
Yeah. If Goosebumps was too childish for your kid, this is the next step up.
Yeah, you know? Go and enjoy a movie. Go into a movie and want to enjoy a movie. I just got an argument with my supervisor, not about this, about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's every movie he sees, it's this movie sucks until I'm proven otherwise. It's just why? Go have fun. That's what they're for. They're there to have fun, and it was a fun movie. That's my hot take. Or room temp.
Lukewarm, yeah.
Your room temperature take.
My
Scott?
reaction, 3 words. I loved it.
Nice.
All right, Katie.
Well, I would say you should watch it, but I don't think you should watch it at the theater. I don't think it's worth the money, but it was I didn't hate it, but I just wish I would have not watched it in the theater and spent money on it.
That's fair. When I went to the theater, there was someone on their laptop before the movie. Which
I saw that.
I've never
Why
seen
would people
before.
do that?
I have no clue. Why would you bring it? And I saw it. It's not even I just saw it at a regular movie theater. I was at a movie theater in the middle of the mall. So this dude was walking around with his laptop through the mall in order to get to the movie theater.
That's the most adult thing that you can do in a child's movie.
I was so surprised when the lights turned on, and I was like, "Holy shit, Jade! We're those people. We were the old people at the movie. We were one of the oldest couples there, and I want to say kudos to the younger generations because I had no idea that the theater was packed with teenagers until the credits, which says something about them because I feel I just complained about them in Child's Play, and it was you know what? You guys came to a movie. They were probably getting hand jobs. It was a Thursday night in the summer, so but they were quiet, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I saw it with a bunch of old folks. It was a lot of I was one of the youngest people in the theater for my screening, hence the laptop in the middle of the theater.
Really? You were the youngest person at the theater?
Yeah, it was weird. It was, but I mean, it was a nice Friday.
You saw
Are
it
you sure
Friday
you
at
weren't
1
a
o'clock.
pedophile gathering or
I saw
something?
it Friday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, you saw a matinee. No wonder you were the youngest person there.
I went and saw it with my sister, who is 11. It was her first horror movie ever in theaters. And
how'd she like it?
She really liked it. She liked it a lot.
We get
Nice.
her on the call. You drop off.
I'm actually looking at my mouse pad that I have down here that I purchased at Pop Rock and Horror, which is just the image of the bride from the original book. So her as a dead skeleton sitting inside of a box.
Yeah, I remember very little, but I don't. None of the movie was I remember that.
Oh, see, I just reread most of these books recently, so they were fresh in the brain.
Gotcha.
But we will say at this point that the spoilers are about to begin. So if you haven't seen it, overall, you should see it. Katie thinks maybe wait for video. But as far as our listens go, I disagree. And you should see it in theater so you can listen to this episode sooner. But, do what you need to do. So 2, 3, 1. Spoilers. Did not know this was going to be a period piece.
Neither did I.
Yeah, it didn't need to be at all. When I
Oh,
saw-
shut the fuck up. It's awesome.
It didn't need to be. It didn't need to be. There's no reason that it had to be set in that time other than the fucking racism that was in the movie, and that was
They
it.
could have done that in 2019 and it would have been this exact same.
I think that
That's what
there
I'm
was.
saying.
I think that I liked it though, because it introduced the music, it introduced all that. Like, this movie hit so many things that I love, which was like greasers and Letterman jackets and like
Oh, Matt,
60s rock.
Greasers didn't wear Letterman jackets. Letterman didn't wear greaser jackets. He's just a prick football player, baseball
Either
player.
way, I liked him. It just touched on a lot of stuff. I will say, I'll get this out of the way. There's one issue that I had with the movie. At certain points, there's way too much convenience in the favor of the characters. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many, like, we're gonna go to the library and investigate something, and then it's like, hey, we found this immediately that we were looking for.
That
like,
was fine.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. I will say, since we're in spoiler territory, that there was a point in the movie where I was sitting there and I thought to myself, if they somehow bring everybody back, then I'm really going to be upset with this movie.
Mhm.
And I was pleasantly surprised that it was just like, yeah, no, they're gone. Like, it doesn't matter that they were good people. Like, they're gone.
That's a
And I
true
was-
horror movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was like, fucking awesome. Because that was my concern. I'm like, this is PG-13. It's kind of like towing that line between like a family movie and like an adult horror movie. And I could see them leaning more into the family movie and just making everything be okay at the end. So I was super excited when it did.
See, that's one thing that I did really appreciate, that they definitely like pushed it as far as they could on PG-13, almost into the R territory. And I did like
They
that.
said
There's a lot
shit
of
a lot.
Dude, that
Yeah.
stew, the stew
Yeah,
with the
good
toe and the
lord.
eyeballs and shit was gross, man.
Well, I think that Tommy's death was even gross. Like, every death was like kind of gross.
Yeah,
Which
well,
is
that was
cool.
the thing. Like, so I don't remember the books. I remember some stories that weren't in the movie. So I was like remembering Krampus, and I was like, damn, Krampus should have been R, because there's a lot of scenes that I
Yeah.
felt like deserved like gore. And I know that's like kind of, it's like titties and gore are a no in a 13, right? PG-13. So when he got impaled by the pitchfork, I was like, how are they going to pull this off? And I just thought the hay, like him becoming a scarecrow, I was like, that's so cool, because it's unsettling without being gory. You know what I mean?
And it was
Like,
also really like a very visually entertaining
Yeah.
kill.
yeah.
I would not be shocked though if the DVD has an R-rated cut of this movie.
Oh dear God.
Because the spider scene specifically, that you can see that there's blood on her
Yeah.
after it bursts, and it made me feel like they probably at one point or another shot something where you see
Them
that there's a
popping out.
giant hole in her face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
But like they had
definitely.
to cut it to get the PG-13, so I'm hoping that we get some of that on the DVD just to see how much further they were going to try to push it.
So now that we're talking on the subject of that kind of stuff, I also just want to say another reason why. I mean, I didn't like this movie, but a thing that I can appreciate more than anything is all of it was special effects.
Yeah.
It is like,
Well,
I don't know if you
not
guys
all
have-
of it, right? Like
Yeah,
the
no.
jangly man.
Nope,
is-
that's a person. That is a man doing all
How
that
much?
stuff. I'll post the video on when you post this, and I'll post a video underneath it from Facebook. But it's literally like it's the man. He can walk like that. Which they actually found him. His name is Troy James. They found him on America's Got Talent.
Oh wow, that's
do
so
that.
cool.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the other things were like Javier Botet. He does like Crimson Peak, It Chapter 2, and like Mama.
Yeah, he's the
Um,
guy that was the witch, the Where's My Toe witch, right?
Yeah, he did that one. He's so, oh my god, he's so good. So like they were like, yeah, most of the people think this movie is like CGI, and they're like, nope, most of it is literally just special effects. But I'll show you the videos of it, and it's like, oh my god, it's like breathtaking. Like, and it's such like a fresh relief that like so many people aren't using CGI anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
and it makes sense because it's from the director of Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I think also did a good job of not leaning too
Oh,
hard
yeah.
into the special effects.
One of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Shit, going
Yeah,
from
I
that
love
movie
it.
to making a PG-13 movie, I don't even understand.
I will say this irrelevant to the movie, right? The guy who plays Augie, Gabriel Rush. If there's ever a movie like It, where it's like first half is children, first half is adults, he needs to team up with Jason Sudeikis because
Oh my god.
he is identical to him.
He also looks like the least famous member of Derek Comedy.
Yeah, yeah. But no,
But-
he looks so much like Jason Sudeikis. I'm like, this is crazy. I kept saying
Yeah.
it to Jade like an old woman in the movie theater. I'm like, it looks just like him.
I did think that the one friend was a little annoying, the comedy relief friend.
Oh, dude, me and Jade thought he was great. Like,
I liked
so
him.
it was a bunch of
I loved him.
teenagers. There was a bunch of teenagers in the movie theater, and they were with their girlfriend. So you can't laugh or be scared. But when she slams the door on him and he goes, "Oh, my banana!" Me and Jade were the only people in the theater laughing, and we were louder than we should have been laughing. We
So-
thought it was so funny.
The line of his that got me was when they try to burn the book and flip over the trash can, and it's perfectly fine. He goes, "This is why I don't read."
yeah. I like that character. I didn't find anybody annoying in this movie. Like, this was the easiest watch I've had in such a long time.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was. I remember as soon as this is how close I am with Scott. As soon as the 1968 and that Season of the Witch song started playing, I was like, "Oh, Scott's gonna love this."
Yeah.
It's everything he loves about a good Halloween opening credit sequence.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely like the intro for sure.
And I gotta give this movie major credit, strictly due to the fact that they filmed it in the fall.
Yeah.
Like they didn't, because you watch Halloween 1978 and it's in fucking California and they have bags of leaves that they were blowing at Jamie Lee Curtis, and like Halloween 4 is very obviously not actually on Halloween, and Halloween 5 is basically in the spring, because the leaves are all green. And it's supposed to be the Midwest on October 31st. I can tell you from living here my entire fucking life, it's very few leaves are still on the trees. And so I just absolutely loved the fact that they got it right. And in the cornfield, the corn was actually shriveled and beige instead of red, which was exactly what it was supposed to look like. And I just thought that the attention to detail was fantastic. And here's why I love period pieces. Because when they're done right, I mean, I thought there was no rhyme or reason for having Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark be set in 1968. And I liked that. I liked the fact that it was just part of the story. It was just like, okay, that there are going to be no cell phones. That's going to help. It's going to help the story. And it was it was the cars were right. The clothing was fucking perfect. The locations were right, the colors were right, I feel like they did a really, really good job of, and they also go back in time to the turn of the century, and those costumes and those settings are phenomenal. I love period pieces, and I have an eye for them because Megan and I watch a lot of period pieces, so I would be the first person to shit on one that did it poorly, and Scary Stories did not do it poorly. Every detail was right.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to throw out there, I'm not sure if Brian caught this, but like the movie takes place kind of near where Brian and I grew up, which is weird.
Yeah, I forget. They said something that
So they said Mill Valley, Pennsylvania, which isn't a real place, but
Of course.
but there is a Mill Valley township in Bucks County. But then when they're looking at where she was committed, it was Pennhurst Asylum, which is like the horror attraction of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I didn't expect that when I went to see
where they
this.
filmed?
Ontario.
I figured that it was in Canada because that's where everything that you see now is in Canada, and
I think it's because Ontario just permanently looks like fall.
Yeah.
no, dude, I was literally there 2 weeks ago. It looks like Ohio. I mean, it looks like the Midwest. But I wonder. While we're talking, I want to see exactly where. I wonder if it was in Hamilton, because that's where Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton is where they filmed It Chapter 2 and The Handmaid's Tale, and
Hold on a second, I just had it
That's the
pulled up
only
to
issue I
see.
have with this movie. That's my biggest issue with
Is
this
it
movie.
feels too much like It Chapter 2?
No, it's the fact that they had a It Chapter 2 trailer.
Oh, trailer.
Before it, and it was like, dude, it was the most profitable Stephen King adaptation.
It's also the best one. I mean,
it's the best one. It made so much money. It got such a huge following. If the trailer literally was a red balloon that said It 2 in theaters, it would sell like crazy. I feel like they gave away way too much in the trailer I saw.
I don't think they did, dude. I've watched that final trailer more than...
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, Brian.
It
They did
doesn't
not give
matter.
away too much.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
here's
The
the thing
maze.
also-
I want to go in blindly. I don't
are
want
gonna
to
go
Close
in
your
blind.
eyes when the trailer's on.
What?
It was
And
in
then I'll
St.
miss the
Thomas,
next
Ontario.
trailer.
Well, can we talk about the trailers for a second? We forgot to do that.
Yeah, there's a couple that I want to see. Ready
Okay,
or not,
well-
grab my attention.
Okay, well, here's quick question, or not question, quick comment. Norman Cabrera is the name of the guy who did the vast majority of the effects for the costume, the monsters for this. He worked under Rick Baker. He has done 1.5 million movies. We've discussed tons of them. He did Scarecrows, which is a mediocre movie, but the Scarecrows are the attraction. And I think that Harold looked fucking great.
Yeah, Harold looks exactly like the Scarecrows from
Well,
Scarecrows,
I read somebody say that they didn't like the way Harold looked because it didn't
Oh
look
man,
like the
they
book.
can fuck off. Harold is like the scariest story out of the entire thing. That scared me the most, and that's the one thing I was most disappointed by was the lack of story behind him in this movie. But the special effects for Harold was like spot on because he fucking freaked me out.
Yeah,
I loved it. I love the way he moved.
remember that was the one you were concerned about. You're like, I'm afraid they're gonna fuck up Harold. Was what you told me before you saw
Yeah.
it. So that makes me excited to know that you were like, yeah, no, they got him. Well, did you catch? I mean, I feel like the implication is that one of her brothers is Harold. Was I the only one that caught that?
I didn't catch that.
You're the only one that
When they're
called that,
looking-
but I just looked up the picture of Harold in the book side by side to in the movie, and it is like spitting image.
Yeah.
I thought so.
They
Watch the
when they're-
video that I upload. It literally like breaks it down piece by piece to like where they like had to create like specifically for it, and if it wasn't good enough, they told them to redo it.
Yeah, they when they're in the when they're looking through all the old newspaper.
Oh, the micro. What's this? It's microfiche.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So-
They knew what microfiche was. They didn't know what the wax cylinder was.
Yeah, so they're going through, and she starts realizing that the books are written about different people, and she's like, because he mentions the father's name, and then she looks at the one story, and then she's like, give me another name, and it says brothers, and then it was whatever the one name was, but the
Ephraim.
other name said Ephraim and Harold were the brothers.
I didn't catch that. I don't think that that's necessarily that Sarah Bellows turned her brother into a scarecrow. I mean, maybe they'll expound upon that in Scary Stories 2, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought that it was weird that they would use the exact
Same
same
name twice.
name.
then it's
And-
probably not
and
a
that-
coincidence.
And then like that brother was a little bit more like they didn't establish him very much, and that he seemed like a little bit more portly than the other one. I was just like, maybe he's supposed to be the Scarecrow Harold. Who knows? I'm excited.
Yeah.
I had a dream of
previews.
Sarah Bellows the following night.
So previews. Can we hit previews real quick and then come back to what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so obviously It Part 2 came, It Chapter 2, Gemini Man again. They're pushing that shit down our throats. It's gonna be awful.
Dude, I haven't seen that at all in any theater.
I've seen that 3
before.
times, and I only go to the movie theaters like for this.
I feel like Gemini Man is like PG. So I've discovered, as someone who goes to the movies a lot, PG-13 action movies are the most unavoidable trailer because they can put them pretty much in front of any movie that you see. You go see a kids movie, they can squeeze a PG-13 action film in there. You see an R-rated horror movie, they're like, they probably also would enjoy this PG-13 action movie. So it's always like, it's just like the genre that you get the most mileage out of your trailer for sure. But
Well,
yeah, the
Gemini
more I see
Man-
it, the less interested I am.
Gemini Man is literally Looper with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Looper wasn't even good.
Whoa. Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
I
Speaking
mean,
of Looper, the
it's
Knives
my
Out
least favorite.
trailer played during mine.
Dude, I'm stoked for Knives Out. I really like
Nope.
Range.
By the way, I think it's probably going to play Fantastic Fest.
Probably that's what my expectations are. Save me some money. But yeah, like I love a good old fashioned whodunit, and that looks like it's just gonna be a wackier version of Clue. And
I was
all
actually
on board.
expecting it to be a Clue movie. I was like, did they make another Clue movie and I didn't know about it?
Yeah, now I
Also, like Chris Evans, I'll see Chris.
I'll
Evans
watch
too.
Chris Evans
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
paint a wall.
Mhm.
I love him.
Like Chris Evans, and he's the son of Jamie Lee Curtis. I'll watch the shit out of that movie. You kidding me?
And
And
Toni
Lakeith
Collette, you know, she's
Stanfield? Yes, please.
So, am I the only one that enjoys mindless action?
I
Right.
like it to a certain extent. It's not one that I make it a point to go see in theaters, but like if I'm just throwing something on in the background, like yeah, mindless action's not the worst thing I.
Yeah,
could
you
throw
picked
back there.
Hardcore Henry, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, I didn't
Yes,
like
he
that.
did.
It made me sick. But Black and Blue. Black and Blue is a mindless action movie that I'm interested in seeing.
I don't know
I
what
didn't
that
get
is.
that trailer. Yeah,
It's this black girl, she's a cop, and then this older black cop like explains to her that now that she's a cop, she's no longer black, she's blue. And she needs to stick with the police because the black community doesn't care about her. And then she catches that police chief committing a murder, and the whole police department is trying to kill her. And she's got to literally get with the community to protect. It's just like a whole like mindless action, like gunshots type deal. But it just looks
Man, that
fun.
sounds good.
Yeah, it looks a lot of fun.
trying to think.
Well, what about fucking Midway? Did you guys get a preview for Midway?
Maybe there was a few that me and
I
Jade
don't
looked
know.
at each other.
So here's what Midway is going to be. Midway is going to be that movie that I see possibly in January if it's nominated for Best Picture, and I go to one of those
It's not
see
going
all
to
the
be
best
nominated
pictures.
for best pictures, man. It's
That's
like,
the
that's
only
fucking
way
way.
I'm
What
going to
is
see
it?
that
I don't
shit.
even know what y'all are
It's like a
referring
Pearl
to.
Harbor.
So the
sequel.
Battle of Midway was a naval and air battle that happened
You could
after
have just said the battle.
Pearl Harbor. A Battle of Midway, yeah.
Okay.
It was like the next battle after Pearl Harbor in World War II. And the fucking preview is like the most over-the-top patriotic bullshit I've ever fucking seen. It's like
It definitely is.
the Japanese are blah. I'm surprised they didn't say Japs. Like it was that offensive to me to watch. It was fucked up, and I can't believe that they're making a movie about it. We don't need it. Fuck that. So stupid. I was absolutely livid watching that trailer. I was like, get me anywhere else. I had a root canal on Thursday. I would rather be getting a root canal than watching the preview for Midway.
Trying to think what else I got. I actually feel like I blanked out on most of the trailers.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's like there was a few that me and Jade just gave each other the look like ugh, but I don't even remember them.
I don't remember
There's some-
anything. I almost missed the
Oh,
movie because I was running late. I went out with my work for happy hour, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I have to go see a movie."
Oh, I'm so drunk.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, I think I got the 4 Meters Down Uncaged trailer.
Why? Why are they making another one?
But Scott, this one's without the cage. Like,
So dumb.
yeah,
I'm so
no,
sick
I
of
mean
shark movies.
that will be the movie that I most dislike watching in the theaters before Creature Feature Weekend. When I get there Thursday night and then have nothing to do, and I'm like, I guess I'll go see 47 Meters Down. But yeah, I we can jump back into the movie, but let's just break down the different stories that get told. We touched on Harold a little bit. I mean, I think Harold was handled very, very well.
Wrong.
Blah blah blah.
Harold
Why do you even
is
let
like-
your,
I thought you
why
just
do you
praised
let your
Harold.
sad sack
I'm so
bastard
confused. I feel like I
arguments
get
in here.
mixed response because I thought you were talking about how they got it right.
No, yeah,
the
the way
look,
he
not
looks.
the story.
Yeah, the
Oh,
story.
gotcha.
Because he like jumps on the roof and like does all this like creepy stuff, and like Harold is like probably like the most terrifying movie or the book or I guess story in the book that I had read, and like I was like terrified, especially like living like surrounded by like cornfields and stuff like that growing up. So I was like super scared of him coming to my house.
This sounds
I
like a
would-
personal problem and not my problem.
Yeah, the scariest. I actually later found out that it wasn't even in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was in the like follow up book, in the Dark Room. but the scariest one for me was always the green ribbon.
I knew that you were gonna say that.
I was
that
actually
shit fucked me up
expecting the
so
green
bad.
ribbon to be the old woman with the dog at the very
Yeah.
when they go to the haunted house. Because I didn't realize that wasn't in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark either.
Yeah, I think the book that I read wasn't Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because it had that. It had the black dog, like that book, but I don't remember.
So
That
there's-
one is like for younger readers. It's like one of those ones like where they have like groups. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like I think it's like the third book. It's like where you're like
in a
learning to
dark
read.
room.
Yeah,
in a dark
maybe.
room was like 4 longer stories. So it was the green ribbon was in there. Teeth was in there, where the guy just has the big smiling teeth and he's
Yeah,
around
yeah.
every corner and shit like that. Black Dog was definitely in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they made a very subtle reference to it.
Wait, which one's Black Dog?
It was the
That's
one,
the one where it ended up being a sewer rat, right?
No. I'm thinking of something else. I'm
That's the
thinking
Chihuahua.
of.
That's from
that's actually a
Wayward
sewer rat.
Stories or whatever.
I'm thinking of the story where the guy is trying to sleep and the dog keeps scratching at his door. Like this dog just keeps coming to his house every night and crying and scratching at his door. And then eventually he gets fed up and kills the dog. And then the next day he's found dead and he doesn't have any marks on him, but he has black dog fur all over him.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
At all.
I like that the moral of the story is be nice to dogs.
Or they'll kill you. Yeah.
Do you think that if they do a sequel to it, that it'll just be the exact like the second book, all the stories in that one?
They're going to do a
No,
sequel.
'cause-
That's literally a
'Cause
setup
Harold's
for the
from book
sequel.
3. Yeah, Harold's from the 3rd book.
Is he? I thought he was from
Yeah.
the first one.
Now I remember reading something about them referencing the most iconic character from book 3. So we go from
Weird.
that, then we jump into the toe. Where's my
That was
toe?
good.
Broke my toe. I love it. So good. And it was really gross. Like this was a gross out film, and I thought it was like a gross out horror film, and I was like, that's not my usual, but I was here for it.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you that I woke up my sister the next day and scared the shit out of her, just yelling, "Where's my toe?"
You are such a bastard.
The meanest person on the podcast.
It's me.
It me.
But we still love you. So let me just double check something. So the black dog was in Scary Stories 3,
Okay.
Brian, as was Harold.
But not the one I'm
Oh.
thinking of.
I know what I was forgetting to mention. You know that my ass had a big old fucking smile on my face the second that the credits started and there was that creepy version of the Hearst song, and I was just like, I love that this is going to be a theme throughout this whole
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Is that
and
fucking
I was
melody?
I was whistling it for
Oh, I was-
like the entire weekend by this
I
point.
was singing it softly to myself whenever it played because there was no one around me. So
Y'all are
so-
fucking weird.
Dude,
Yeah,
I love
we
that
know.
Hearst song. But yeah, so that was exciting to hear that pop up.
Who played Lulu?
Who did play Lulu? I'll
Is that,
find
I'm assuming I'm supposed to know who that was.
out. Do. I actually don't know. She was from Hudson Hawk and Breaking In
Mhm.
in the
He
80s.
just looks familiar to me.
and Dangerous Minds.
Well, that's not a movie I've watched recently.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know.
She was in Black Dog,
Oh,
starring
well, there
Meatloaf.
we go. There's our 6 degrees to Black Dog.
Yeah, I haven't heard of most of the movies that she's in.
Fine.
to be honest.
She just looks
Yeah.
familiar then. So then we get the red room, what's it called? Oh no, we get the red spot next, which was
Yes.
I loved the red spot. It was I mean that's Megan's one of Megan's favorite scary stories to tell in the dark. And mine too. I always thought that one was great. That one and the People Can Lick Too. People Can Lick Too is my all-time favorite scary story.
Yeah.
Megan says she just yelled that her favorite is the sewer rat. That's the dog.
So
that's a
you
sewer
were
rat.
wrong. You don't actually know
Yeah.
your wife is.
But that was
Shut
the
up! You know I know my wife, Katie. I talk about her more than I talk about Matt and Brian.
Aw. Ow.
That's understandable.
I mean, she's my wife. You're my
yeah.
best friend. So
My wife.
My wife.
So they so yeah, they make a reference to that story though when the Ramon is in her room and he's reading her story and goes, man, this is pretty dark. His pet's gonna be a sewer rat, isn't it?
Yeah. That is the reference.
But yeah, so there was that. The red spot was really, really cool.
Quite
Just
gross when she's like, I
fucking
was
gnarly.
like, I was nauseated when she was poking at the gigantic like.
Oh, the
boil.
audience was screaming in the theater.
Yeah. Well, I was in an audience of maybe 10 people, and I'd say 4 of them were boomers, and then the rest were about my age. There was a cool group of black people right behind me, like, because it said assigned seating only, and so like I went to my seat, which was right next to them, and I turned to the guy because he like kind of looked at me. I'm like, there aren't enough people in this theater for me to have to sit in this seat, right? And he was like, no, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit right in front of you guys. Is that okay? He's like, yeah, sure. And I heard them when they would react to stuff, and they were like, oh, like, and I was trying my best not to make any sound, but I was like super fucking grossed out by that too.
Dude, so back to the Where's My Toe for a second.
Oh yeah.
That had, I'm not sure if you guys had this, but my theater had a little bit of laughter, but it was that perfect horror movie laughter where you're like, oh, everyone is nervous right now.
Yeah.
Like it was that uncomfortable, like, this is really weird. It's kind of funny because you keep yelling, where's my toe? But like, God damn it, they're gonna get me, aren't they? You're just like waiting for when it was gonna happen.
Yeah, and you were expecting it to. That was cool. It was kind of a fake out jump scare where you assumed that the witch was going to be on top of the bed, but then she was behind him and she dragged him wherever.
Yeah.
I was like fucking. I like jumped really hard when like her like face popped up. I was like, oh shit, and I had to keep like asking my sister. I'm like, are you okay? Like, is this too scary?
And she's like, calm down.
Yeah. Leave me alone. Like, well, and then there was the pale lady.
Yeah.
Which just such a weird looking effect. It's performed by the same actor who played Harold.
I didn't, I think of all of the stories that were in the movie, that was my least favorite, just because, I mean, it was cool because I liked the feeling of like no escape, but I just felt like they were doing so well with not using CGI up until that point, and then her eyes are CGI, and it really just bugged me. I just was like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll take the occasional need for little bits of CGI.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just didn't. I was a little disappointed because I didn't think that she needed it.
Yeah, her little penguin waddle down the hallway.
Yeah,
that scene was just so visibly pleasing too. Just like, because
all the reds with the
made me like kind of sick, but it's just done very, very, very well.
Yeah, it was. I feel like this whole movie was shot beautifully. Like it was exactly what it needed to be. Like the nightmare sequences had their own unique visual flares for each one, which was cool. Like it was really cool. Let's get to like the main villain though, twisting off a cop's head. The fucking Jangly Man.
So that was the coolest kill of the movie, strictly due to the fact that I was not expecting him to get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which does lead to a couple questions because like her friends may have disappeared, understandably. She was locked in a prison cell when the only cop on duty had his neck broken, and then she was missing. So I feel like that probably raised a couple questions.
And then the guy just like was able
to
go into the military, and like everything was like fine, and they're like, but we're gonna get him back, and it's like, you're not getting that fucking guy back. He's dead.
She said her friends, not that asshole cop.
Yeah, she's not helping Tommy either.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck Tommy.
Yeah, what a prick. The best part about Tommy is that he comes home drunk and his mom's not annoyed. She's just like, go take these eggs to the neighbors. Yeah. And I was like, wait, is he getting back in the car? No, he didn't. He was just walking through the field.
Yeah, it was the 60s, man. There's nothing wrong with drunk driving back then.
That's true.
Yeah, ask George W. Bush.
Oh, too soon.
The scene where they throw the eggs and he hits his sister is like, oh, holy shit. And that's who she went out on the date with.
Oh my god, yeah.
I loved that.
I love when they throw the shit in the car and it hits her lap.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. What a great prank. Sitting there with a fucking little net scooping his turds out of a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Oh god, yes. I forgot all about that. What the fuck?
This is why I'm never coming to visit Katie, because I know she's going to play shitty pranks, literally.
Yeah.
My family, we're like huge on scaring each other. And my sister is like the best person to scare because she does the whole like arms and like hands shaking things when you scare her. It is like the greatest thing ever.
I like whenever Brian scares Jade and puts it on the internet for me to enjoy.
Yeah, that's always
Because she
fun.
just has one very loud scream every single time.
And then it's like, well, he's not having sex tonight.
Yep.
So you
So,
noticed that
No different than if he did scare.
Yeah.
Didn't scare.
I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't posted a video in a while, and it's not due to lack of trying. She's just really keen to me, so it's tough.
You say that she doesn't listen, but maybe she does just to figure out what you've got up your sleeve next.
Yeah, no, I've been
She's
trying.
like, ooh, if I hear him walk into the shower and the shower turn on, I can't trust it anymore. He's hiding.
I feel like Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis in Beetlejuice. Like I'm just like hiding there with this great thing that's gonna scare him, and she just like walks past me and moans. I'm like, God damn it. Okay.
You need to find some new techniques, Brian.
I know. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna have to
All right.
break into the house and
Outsource.
Oh my god.
Here's the
She's
thing.
gonna shoot
Yeah.
you in the face.
She's got a gun on her nightstand, so I need to be like cautious in
You
my
have to walk that
stairs.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to scare her, but not to the level of self-defense. All right. So, any other things that we want to tackle with scary stories?
I'm stoked for the sequel. That I loved the fact that they set up the sequel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this. This is definitely going to be. I would love to imagine that it's available on home video in time for Halloween.
That's
but
why
I
they
will
did that.
But I'm just going to say that if not starting 2020, this will definitely be in my regular Halloween rotation because this is just a fun little Halloween movie to pop on.
I'm hoping that Halloween Horror Nights does it this year, but we'll see.
Ooh, I mean, they did announce Us, right?
Yeah, they announced Us. They announced Ghostbusters, Stranger
And,
Things, Killer Clowns,
Yeah, Clowns from Outer Space.
and Universal Monsters, which is cool.
Well, I'm excited. Katie?
What?
Well, first of all, Jesus Christ. First of all, final thoughts.
That was so shitty.
I've been the nicest to you of everybody. Actually,
Yeah,
Brian's
she
been
doesn't
the
even
nicest.
treat me that badly, and I'm horrendous to her.
What?
I mean, whatever. It was a movie.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, it was fun. It was a good experience
You
to take my
suck.
sister.
You hate fun.
Why is
I
Scott's so mean to you and I get the what? I don't even understand anymore.
It was like
You are a total monster of your own. Like,
Listen,
I'm really tired still.
Tune in next month when we have someone other than Katie to talk
No.
about it chapter 2. No, we would never do
That'll
that.
be nice. No, I was actually up all night playing the Thing board game. Until like 2 a.m.
That,
It was
that
like
might be the
that's-
most acceptable excuse.
yeah, I was about to say
I've
that's
ever
nerdy
heard.
as fuck. So
it
yeah,
was
you
really
get off.
fun. It was like super fun. If we ever meet, we should all do that. I already know Matt, but not y'all. I'll never see Scott because he'll never visit Texas.
Oh no, you'll never see
Not-
me because I don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't even go to our conventions.
yeah. Brian's agoraphobic.
Yeah.
Matt was like, "I'm gonna try to get Brian to go to Fantastic Fest this year," and he was like, "Yeah, probably not gonna
Yeah.
happen."
No,
Yeah,
no,
not
no,
with the
no.
wedding.
No, yeah, not with the wedding. And then after the wedding,
I think,
absolutely. not.
but I do think that of the two, I think Brian would have the most fun with Fantastic Fest because it's his type of trashy horror movie.
Oh yeah, you would love it. They're playing like a remastered version of Bloody Birthday, and I'm so excited to see
It's
it.
such a bad movie.
I
think
love
that-
it.
I'm gonna get
Of
you
the
guys
things
know
that-
a little secret about me. Me and Jade are trying to get pregnant like a month before we get married, so she's not showing, but we're immediately having a kid. And my biggest reason for wanting a child is because I have the
Why?
holy grail of excuses. Like that baby is the ultimate I can't make it to anything. To anything. There's nothing like, oh yeah, oh crap, you're getting married. Huh? I can't bring the baby. I can't do it. I'm sorry. You know? Oh, your funeral. I'm sorry. I can't make it. The baby. It's great. I never have to be anywhere ever again but home.
So I mean, that's a great idea, but also like you don't want to be pregnant as soon as you're married because like you're not. Oh Jesus Christ, man, that's a
You got to get the fun of marriage in for at least a year.
We don't even
you're
have the
gonna be
fun of
miserable.
dating. What the hell? How much fun's marriage gonna be?
Brian's just so codependent. He's like, I need to keep Jade around, so I'm gonna put a baby in her.
Yeah. This signs a deal that she has to be around me for 18 more years.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't.
And let me tell you something. Worst case scenario, she's the breadwinner, so you better send me them chicks.
All right. Well, we've gotten way off track for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by talking about Brian's future nightmare. So we will be back with another in theaters now, obviously, for It Chapter 2. And then a couple of weeks after that, I'll be in Austin, and I'll probably, hang out with Katie, and we'll record right before I leave. We'll do hey, here's our thoughts on all the movies that we saw recording.
I like how
last
you
time-
said probably, like you we might not. I might not see her.
Because last time we recorded one of those, it was after both of us had seen a movie, and it was the most uninteresting recording because it's I saw this one movie, it was fine.
No, by that time I had already seen 8 movies.
Well, I had seen 2.
Also, don't be sick as fuck this time. Last time you couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'll try to avoid that. Anyway, we'll be back with a regular episode on Friday. Thanks for listening. Bye.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.